Carlsbad, California's Palomar Airport, we caught up with the Collings Foundation Wings of Freedom Tour. Here's Derek Ward with more.
Behind me here is the B-17 Flying Fortress, named 909, operated by the Collings Foundation. I want to tell you a little bit about flying this aircraft. First of all, you notice the size is fairly heavy on the controls. It's cable pulley, no hydraulic assist, no autopilot. So you're always, it's a little bit of an arm workout on the elevator and the aileron and the rudder. It's a very rudder-intensive airplane. You got a lot of adverse yaw. The ailerons are over 20 feet in length each, so if I roll into a turn, I definitely need to have corresponding rudder, or else it'll drag the wing it'll drag that wing back. Also, you can steer this airplane on the ground with the ailerons. If I move the aileron to the left, it puts my right aileron down, creating adverse yaw, which will drag the nose to the right. Takeoff-wise, it's not too bad. You got a lockable tail wheel, so taxiing the airplane is fairly easy. For the turns, we got to unlock the tail wheel. That can get a little tricky, as the side load, if you're in a wind, will hold the pin down in place. So you got to kind of play with the airplane a little bit and get that pin to be unweighted, so it'll lift out, so you can get the free swiveling tail wheel. Once you do that, it's obviously a very big tail. If you're in that wind, it wants to weather vane. Also, this has got the brakes like the B-24, the expander tube brakes, bladder style. I depress the brake pedal. It's got a flow from the pedal, underneath the flight deck, out into the bomb bay, across the wing, down the strut to the tire to inflate. And then that's when the brake will activate. If you just mash on the pedal, it won't react for about 2 seconds. And if you really mashed on it, it'll grab and catch and you'll turn pretty hard. Once you raise the tail on the takeoff, you add the power. We go up to about 30 inches of manifold pressure just to make sure everything's running correctly. We'll release the brakes, start accelerating. As we accelerate, just kind of let the tail fly up nice and slow. You don't want to do it too fast, as all the torque and the gyroscopic precession make the airplane turn as well. So just ease it in there, add the corresponding rudder to keep yourself straight. Keep that aileron right where it needs to be. Don't be monkeying with that either. And as you accelerate, you get up to about 110, airplane just flies right off the ground. The wing is a beautiful design, very stable. Climbs out, we climb out about 130. Our power settings, we cruise at about 150. So just a very, very lovely airplane to fly. In flight, even when the passengers are walking back and forth, I hardly have to retrim the airplane. It's just got such a wide CG range. It is heavy on the controls, but still just beautiful to fly. Definitely rolling into a turn, if you want to roll into one fairly brisk, 2 hands on the yoke, a corresponding rudder. For the landings, we use 40 degrees of flaps. Goes outboard, almost out just past the outboard engines there. That gives us an approach speed of about 110 coming over the fence. You're pointed right at the numbers. I love airplanes from that era, because like the jets of today, you're coming down nose high. This airplane, you just point it right where you want to go. Coming about 110, ease the power off. We always wheel land the B-17, try not to 3-point it, because if you 3-point it wrong, it gets pretty ugly. Very nice shock absorbers on it as well, so you can really grease the airplane on pretty nicely. And keep that yoke just a little bit forward once you touch to stick it, and then be right on those rudders. Don't move the aileron too much again, and you just fly that tail down. You don't want to thunk it down. You apply too much pressure, you get a really nasty shimmy. Sometimes in a crosswind, you got to use a little differential power instead of pulling all 4 engines back at the same time. If I've got the wind coming in from the left, I'll keep the outboard engine on the left, up at a little bit higher RPM to help keep me straight and give me more rudder effectiveness. And then just easing in on those brakes like we talked about. You don't want to just romp on them. You just got to feather it in and tap, tap, tap and come to a stop. Unlock the tail wheel at the end and turn off.